Extracted from the book by Ronald Quist. Such were the conditions. The Kahnplay incident. I became a homeless person in early June. I must have cut quite the image that summer, walking the streets of Boston and Cambridge in my white leather shoes. I spent a lot of mental energy trying to keep my self-esteem from crumbling completely. My main driving emotions were humiliation and fear. In the early morning, I could often be found at the entrance of a subway station. Usually, it was the one at Boston's government center. I was concerned that everyone could tell that I had nowhere to go during the morning rush hour. The hurrying crowds seemed to be the very definition of destination and purpose. Each was going to their place of work. I felt that if I mingled with them, I too would feel a sense of purpose, a sense of being on the move. I spent most days in the Boston Public Library, with books piled high around me and fast asleep half the time. I would take a long lunch break each day to sit on a bench, usually on Commonwealth Avenue or on Boston Commons, and eat a chili dog or a pastrami sandwich with a Coke. My daily budget was $5. It all went to food. At about 9 at night, I would move to the open concourse on the ground floor of the Prudential building. I and about half a dozen other homeless people would sit on a low-beamed structure till the security guards came to move us away at midnight. I was always sure to be reading a paper on quantum electrodynamics that I had copied from the library. I was desperate to let the guards know that I was not a bum. Just look at the kind of material I was able to digest. Between midnight and morning, I would keep walking all night, mostly across the Charles River in Cambridge and Somerville. I was afraid that if I fell asleep on one of the city's park benches, I might be attacked or even killed. Sometimes, as I walked around Harvard Square, I thought I might just end it all by throwing myself in front of a bus. But then, with my luck, I probably would not die and end up with even greater suffering as a paraplegic. I continued walking through Cambridge until morning, when I could get back to my routine of Government Center, the Boston Public Library, and occasionally Green Coast. In between my naps at the Boston Public Library, I started writing. At first, feeling sorry for myself, I began work on a low-spirited memoir, Broke, Black, and Balding in Boston. Broke would describe the humiliation and panic of having neither income nor financial control. Black would explore the pervasive hostility and isolation I felt. Balding would confront the disheartening arrival of my lopsided face resulting from my unevenly receding hairline. Boston was the result of my discovery of the power of alliteration. I had just read about it in a guide to writing I had picked up at the library. So that would be a better choice than Cambridge or Somerville, where I also spent time. I put an end to that negative project. In my fragile mental state, I thought the exercise would eventually undermine my mental well-being. I turned to what I was better at and found more engaging. I studied masses of data that federal agencies reported on the United States economy and on the energy sector. I could not believe the amount of data that was available and kept up to date. I thought back to how much time and effort it would take me to compile a single page of data at the LEC. The hours spent in the library made me feel more normal. Once, a young gentleman approached me in the library because of the material he saw me reading and working on. He invited me to join a solar energy group and attend a couple of seminars at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. I modified and expanded upon the load forecast models I had developed in Liberia.